All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 5:05. We have the minutes of the regular session first.
Yep, and no changes.
Sean?
No, looks good. Motion to accept the minutes of January 6th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm sorry.
But you're opposed? Or
No,
you're-
no, I missed that.
Keep up. I knew what you meant. And the ones for the executive session? I actually just signed the wrong one. That's okay. Did you have a chance to review that one?
I did,
Yep.
I had no changes.
No changes?
Nope.
All right, then I'll
Motion
take
made
a
to
motion.
accept the minutes of the executive session for January 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Get that out of the way. So we got the agenda, right? Okay. I assume James is not coming, he's coming next week, right?
Yeah, I'll make sure he's in next week.
All right, when we get through the other ones, you can update us what's going on with the family. Okay, new business. F-550 dump truck.
All right, so a week ago, the transmission went awry, so Tom took it back to the shop and he got it going again, but it looks like the transmission is losing fluid somewhere. We found some on the driveway, so he got that back up and running. Within an hour or two, it was blowing white smoke. It was blowing white smoke out the tailpipe. So Tom saw it, so he took the truck back again. So it looks like there's an internal radiator leak or internal
Something in the
antifreeze
coolers,
leak,
yep.
like a head gasket's gone. So he estimates that's about $8,000 to repair. He also said that the transmission probably won't be far behind it at another $7,000 to $8,000. The truck has 130,000 miles on it. It's got 5,000 running hours on it. The bed's all rotted out. The lift cylinder is leaking. We had sheet metal welded into the bed itself a couple of years back just to get through. The big dump truck was supposed to have gone through, and by now we would have been moving on, but we didn't make it.
What year is it? Truck.
So it's a 2005. So it's, you know, almost 20 years old. Well, it is 20 years old now. So it's reached its end of life. A new replacement is probably around 90,000 or a little less. We have 200 and something thousand in free cash. I myself would recommend pay free cash for it. When you see the budget, we've paid off a lot of debt, so the budget actually went down. We're about to take on a lot of debt. So rather than keep stockpiling it, some people like debt. I believe, like David does, that if you have cash, pay cash for what you have. We've just never been able to get in front of the ball. We're always getting run over by it. So at this point in time, this just happened, and we're gonna see a lot of debt coming. But it's not my choice, it's your choice.
When's the new other truck coming in?
It is here. We haven't paid for it yet, but I had nothing to do with it. Tom accepted it. Tom registered and titled it. It's
That's
here.
this paperwork I have here.
Yes, so that's the financing to go along with it, so we can pay for the truck.
So we've got that one, and then we'll replace this one, so we have two in operation.
Yeah.
Can you get a firm number on what the replacement would be?
Before we do it, yeah, before we get to capital, we will. It's just that if you want to finance it, then I've just got to add that number into the budget line. If you want to use free cash, then nothing has to occur to the budget.
Anything else you can think of pressing that would look to use the free cash for?
At this time, no. Not right off.
And that'd still leave us with over 100 in free cash?
Yeah.
What was the final payment of the new truck? Are we getting a similar truck?
So we haven't made any payments to the new truck, but I believe it's some, so the first payment would be 46,000 and then two subsequent ones at 39,000. So if you,
That's a 750?
yeah, that was for 750. But we need a smaller truck when you're working tight areas and you start backfilling a hole. Sometimes you know, you can't get the big truck in.
Yeah, we got 20 years out of the last one.
Yeah, it never, that was a bad year for those motors, I guess. It never ran right from like year 2 on. You never knew what kind of truck you were gonna get when you started it up and backed out of the garage. We've rebuilt the turbo, I think 2 times on it, the wastegate several times, the EGR valve, which is tied to the wastegate a couple of times. It's just never run right.
Did Tom give you like anything in writing, an email even or something that just says what he thinks is?
Yeah, he did.
All right.
Pretty much what I told you.
No, just so we have something if somebody asks, say, look, this
Yeah.
is what it's gonna cost to keep it, a 20-year-old truck that's rusted out running. You know, if somebody questions why we're buying a truck, I don't have a problem replacing that. And personally, I'd prefer free cash. If you, sounds like.
I agree.
Yeah, free cash is a majority vote versus a 2/3 vote for borrowing, right?
I know that they say those things at town meeting, but usually.
No, if you're not borrowing, it's not a 2/3
Right.
on those.
So it'd just be majority.
Yeah, we just have to go in and ask for them to
Transfer.
authorize $90,000 in free cash.
Right.
Or in, that's water department surplus, right?
Yeah, it is.
Technically.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
We need it to do what we gotta do.
All right. So you take care of getting the rest of the, whatever we need for
Yeah,
estimates and whatnot, and we'll put it in.
Yep, I'll get them to get me a quote.
Okay. Hopefully we can get it faster than the last one.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
or I'll be gone by the time you get it.
And I'll be gone in the ground by the time we get it. All right, so we don't have to vote anything else on that. Fire alarm panel on Manley Street?
All right, so the panel was not active, and part of the new building is they're gonna tie into the panel some sensors. So I went out and got a quote to have it replaced by our current alarm system people, and then I got a quote from the panel manufacturer themselves. I was thinking that it would be cheaper just for them to come in and replace the panel and fix whatever, or fix it, and no. So to have our current people do it, it's $7,655. To have Johnson Controls, which is a proprietary system, come in, and the panel that's there hasn't been made in 14 years.
Yeah.
So they have to replace the panel.
Of course.
There are multiple alarms on the panel, so they don't know whether it's endpoints or the panel itself. So they also have to troubleshoot that when they go in. So they want $11,848.
Who's the other guy that we're using?
It's Eagle Fire and Security.
They do like the whole town, like town hall too.
Yeah, they actually do, yeah.
Why wasn't our panel?
I don't-
The panel there hasn't been working?
It hasn't worked from the day I was hired. And
Is it part of town street boxes? That was
no,
part of-
there's no street box out there. I don't think it was ever tied into anything.
And what the 7655 will get, what's supposed to be running there, running plus the new.
They'll take that out, they'll use the existing conduit runs and wiring. They'll replace all of the endpoints with their
The
pull
sensor,
stations
yep.
and sensors. Yep, and then it'll be up and running and monitored. With the other guys, monitoring is a whole nother issue and maintenance is another whole other issue. So those are extra bills and extra add-ons. We've switched, these guys were actually cheaper. We used to use one of the big names. And it was very expensive. Every time you called them out, it was almost $500 just a $7 magnet.
But these, we've been using them and you're happy with them, we're not having any issues getting them out here or.
No, they
They're
respond.
small, they're from East Bridgewater. The
Right.
guy that started it left a big company. He passed away and left it to his partner. And so they just changed the name. It used to be SAT. security alarm technology, I think it was called.
Yeah, that was it.
So this is,
That will just be under my building maintenance thing, and that be covered under budget right now.
Okay. And this is, it's necessary for them to finish the
Yeah,
stuff at
I don't know what
Manly.
will happen when they go to tie in and the panel's there, it's, you know, it's not functional.
Will they be able to do this quick enough that it'll be done for Manly?
I believe so.
Okay.
and that's exclusively fire, or the fire and?
Just fire, yep, it's exclusively fire. We already have a building alarm there.
Does Eagle service that as well?
Yes.
So that way we just have, yeah, no, that makes
It would
sense.
be one system.
Any further discussion on that?
Nope.
I'll take a motion to have Wayne deal with Eagle Fire and Security to get the fire alarm panel replaced.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Any opposed?
Nope.
Okay, next item. Excuse me. Approve the financing agreement with the tax exempt leasing corp, which is this thing with like 800 little red signing tabs next to it.
Yeah. I didn't put the tabs on.
Would someone like to explain? I mean, I know it's for the F-750
Right.
truck, and exactly what are we doing here that we have to approve?
So you have to approve borrowing from the tax exempt leasing corporation. And then the signatures, and it gets weird, that's why I left the email on the front that Scott had sent.
Okay?
It's something about how the signatures go. Pretty much you put your name in, so wherever you see your name, there's a signature. But then there's something about signing it further on with the,
On page 5, that 2 other people will need to sign and attest. What's that, page 5?
I don't, usually we just borrow and that's it. It's not,
I mean, I don't remember, well, I don't think we've pulled one of these since I've been the chair, so I don't remember anything like this, though. Approval and authorization.
I don't think we've got a lease vehicle, have we?
Yeah, I forget what, the other trucks, we've always done 3-year lease purchases. But we've never had
Right.
like this kind of paperwork. Usually Scott just does it and it's done.
3, 4. Okay, here, adoption of resolution. Below from the designated member from the governing body of the lessee evidence the adoption. Signature of secretary, board chairman,
That's you.
who's not listed as authorized individual. I'm the authorized individual. We're gonna have to, since this is like signing this thing legally, we're gonna have to check with Scott. Should be, if it has to be my full name on the typed name or not. I don't, if it doesn't, I don't care. We probably wouldn't be able to reach him right now, though.
No.
We could vote it, still get these signed by them, and then just if,
You just come back in and sign it.
well, I just have to come back and sign it, or just, you know, whether it's these or if we have to change my name, because all the rest of the signatures are my name.
Some of those say art.
They all say Art instead of, which again, I don't care, I just don't want to have something come back at us for something stupid.
And page 5 said art too.
And it's supposed to be, oh no, that's Scott's, and he hasn't signed that one yet. Yeah, every place I saw my name, it says Art, and we just want to make sure it doesn't, that doesn't have to change. So it's,
How much we borrow?
well, we're paying 5.89%. Principal is 117,662.52. We're paying 6391.76 interest. So the total payments are 124.54.28 over 3 years. So first, this year it's, we're paying 46,000, which is all principal. Then 34.8 the second year, after which we can buy it for 37.7. Or if we finance the third year, it's 36.9 for the third year. we have the truck.
Yes.
It exists. Everything that's supposed to be on it.
Yeah, it's a nice truck to drive. It's really quiet.
Okay.
Doesn't fit in the, you have to fold the mirrors to get it
I
in
also
the
have to
garage.
ask Scott, because we have an invoice from the company the truck was bought from. I don't know how that works.
Well,
If we were
we're,
warned for it.
Well,
I know
once
you're
it's signed,
signing
pay
that,
off.
but I need to find out.
No, I'm thinking if we're
that
fi-
invoice.
yeah, does that get rolled into this?
I don't know, I have a warrant, but I didn't have it for that invoice specifically, because it was an article, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll check with them. Like I said, as long as we vote to accept it tonight, and we get these, excuse me, the adoption of resolution gets signed by, would be the two of you. Now, I'm the authorized individual, so I can't sign this.
Right, it says art on that.
Oh, you know, that's, yeah, no, that, like I said, every place where my name appears that's gonna have, or it might not have to be, they might not care. And if they don't care, I don't care. But I can, if Scott tomorrow says it's fine, I
Just
can
call
come,
you.
yeah, I can come in and do
It's
it.
fine.
Yeah, but otherwise, this one, if you guys sign it.
They're not gonna look at that. They're just gonna send the bill to the town, pay us.
Yeah.
It's not
You
like
never-
we're gonna default.
Yeah, you never know, sometimes stuff gets stupid. I'd rather not have it goofed up if we don't have to. But then if you guys sign these,
Bring it over, what do you want to
Two.
sign?
well, you're gonna have to vote for it first. Right, signature, evidence adoption of body by secretary, can't be the board chairman, so it would be you as clerk,
Okay.
would do that one, and you would attest here.
I'll be the
As
tester.
you're the attester as the member. And we'll just ignore that that's there, because I'm not signing it on this sheet. And maybe that'll get us through with it. And like I said, if he says those are fine, I'll come in tomorrow and do it. So, any further questions on the lease?
No,
None.
I'll make a motion to accept the lease by, to say the name,
Oh,
Tax
Tax Exempt Leasing Corporation.
Tax Exempt Lease Incorporation for the F-750.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nope.
All right, now, that means you. I don't know why I didn't put little red stickies on those.
I just put those where you had to sign. So
Oh, I thought
that's
those
it.
came from him.
No,
All
that
right.
came from me.
So the top one would be you, she's gonna have to type that stuff in,
Okay.
so just the signatures.
I'm the attester.
You're the attester.
Okay, I've been attested.
I didn't know you were a doctor. Okay, drain repair bill.
So Marion,
Hmm?
that's what that is,
What?
the drain repair bill.
Yeah.
I just need to know if we have to pay it, or if you're
Let's-
still waiting. I
I'm
just
still-
don't want to forget.
Oh,
about
that one,
I'm
all right,
still waiting.
I'm sorry, I thought it was
Yeah,
something
it's,
else. Did you talk to him?
they're kind of like, they're playing the old shuffle. But I finally got a connection.
So just leave that on for next time.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now, in association with that, since we're on new business, and I don't know if this should be new or old, believe we messed up on our hiring interview, and we need to bring him back and do that in open session. So, if you could add to new business for the next meeting, we're gonna have Seth come back in for his interview. That'll be the formal interview in open session. I've already talked to Linda, and she sent him the invitation to come back in.
For the next meeting?
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause it was by the time I was told it was too late to change it on this meeting.
So that's February 3rd.
Yes, and then hopefully that lines up with when she's got him scheduled for the selectmen's meeting anyway. It's just to cover up. Just so all the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted, and yet another reason for getting that information through Linda
Yep.
for the open meeting stuff. It gets too complicated if you're not doing it all the time. So add that for the next one, and now we will move on to old business. First item is still nothing going on Matfield Street, so we'll just leave that there. Stations 1, 2, and 4. Do we have anything new from Tater and Howard?
I have not heard anything more on that part of the project, so it must be getting closer. And I'll have him come in at the next
Yeah, and
meeting.
we don't owe them anything for anything.
They haven't currently billed us for anything, no.
No, I meant in terms of information or anything
No,
like
they
that.
haven't requested anything.
Okay, so everything should be set and they're just working on it. Okay, how about Manley Street?
So this week, because of the cold, they've stopped putting the building up for the next few days. They'll return, they're actually gonna work on Saturday to start making up time to get caught up. But the building's going up, it's
Yeah.
just a slow process. They got hit with some of the most undesirable weather to be outside in.
Yeah, but they had the concrete, the foundation was all done before the real cold
Right,
hit.
so,
They've
yeah.
been getting the steel up and such,
Yeah.
so. And is all the buried stuff done?
Yes. Yep.
So,
It's all above ground now and getting them, as soon as they get the building up. We back flushed the adage representative came in, Tara and Howard was there, we back flushed the PFAS filter.
yeah,
That's the bad thing with always forward flowing a filter is it has a tendency to pack down. So when we went to back flush it, we couldn't get any flow and then suddenly it popped and then we
because it sealed itself.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for sending me the picture and let me know what was going on. It's just, I wasn't able to take
Yeah.
it right over at the time.
I mean, it's just washing water. And we did the steps, there were like 6 or 7 steps along the way at different flow rates.
Yeah.
And it progressively got lighter and lighter and lighter till it was clear at the end.
So it seemed like what they said to do,
Yep,
It's working.
it worked.
okay.
So we're gonna sample for PFAS this week. If not tomorrow, Thursday, I'll do it.
And it's working, we program those steps in, or is somebody gonna have to kind of manually?
Well, so
Run the
it
back
doesn't get, so they still don't want it back flushed because you restack the deck. So the spent media becomes mixed in with new media. So they don't like that. They like it that it's always in a forward flow position. I don't like it because eventually it packs itself down, but, it's their media and,
Well, it's their media, but it's gotta make, it's got
Right.
to perform, and if we have to backwash for it to perform, we have to
Right.
unless
I
they
would
have
still
some
like
other
to-
solution for it.
Yeah, we're currently on quarterly sampling for it now,
Yeah.
because we've got reduced. So before we do the next quarter, I'd like to backwash it again. I'll ask them, just to see what it looks like. Is it as bad as it was before? Or,
Yeah.
because we've changed some of the process going into it, so the backwash is further away from it, and anytime the PFAS filter is in operation. Where before there were some points where it could overlap.
And the guys are there to watch the sequence, our
Yeah.
tanks.
Yep.
Okay. That's something I'd like James to address with Adage maybe before he gets here for the next meeting if possible.
Yep.
So that we, the stuff works, but once we go to full scale in the big tank, the new tanks.
They think they have the Green Sand Plus is supposed to arrive end of January, early February. So after that, once they
So
get,
next week or possibly that early?
yeah. So I haven't met with them, so I can't step in, but there's a lot of media gonna show up because it's 3 filters worth.
Yeah.
I wanna say there were like 10 or 12 just for the PFAS filter. So that's times 3 with the green sand. it can't be frozen, so it has to be stored someplace indoors.
There enough room in that building?
No, we can't get it in our building. So, you know, there are a couple of buildings sitting empty, but I can't go asking anybody until, because it's it's not Bismarck, but Bisco.
Yeah.
It's their responsibility. So if they'll let me ask and let me deal with it, then I can do that. But until then,
Or they have to store it somewhere?
right, then they have to store it.
Okay.
I just know, and 21 Lincoln Street might not want anything in their warehouse either, but I know it's sitting there giantly empty and heated.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew what had happened. With the stuff comes in bags,
Yeah.
the bag would break open and
Yeah.
contaminate the end. Now, hopefully it'll just get taken care of,
Right.
but,
The other thing is, we got something from the Massachusetts, there's one of the grants that I applied for was the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust. It
yeah.
has to do with emerging contaminants. So, our $3.9 million loan will qualify for a subsidy in the amount of $658,609, equal to 16.9% of the original project cost.
That's for this one here.
Right.
How much was that again? 658?
658,609. We have 3.1 million, so it looks like they're only giving that much towards Manly.
Yeah.
Is that the end of it, or there might be more coming? Or is that,
I think that once they've sent this, that's it towards Manly.
Do we have to do anything else to accept it, or we basically, that's gonna be coming?
No, it doesn't say we have to do anything.
Nice.
Now, the SRF still can do principal forgiveness along the way too, but they haven't stipulated.
Yeah, then we're never gonna know until it's
Right.
over what it's actually gonna be,
Yep,
James
basically.
was hoping for 3%. on that,
right.
Right.
When you read all the paperwork, it looks like 3%, which is almost, you know, I think I calculated it's like $120,000.
Okay,
So
any-
hopefully they come up higher than that, but
Anything we can get would be,
yeah, everything is better than nothing. So we don't have a loan payment this year also. So even though we'll be expending the money, our first loan payment will be in 2026.
do we have a schedule from them on when the payments are, how they're gonna be broken down yet?
They did, that's why I was reacting, but then Scott said that there'll be no payment
Okay.
next year. There'll be
So
no
it's-
payment
so
next
it's-
year, so you don't see it in the budget. So the first payment will be in 2027.
Okay.
Which seems weird, but
You know, it's gonna get real complicated all of a sudden when all these projects start hitting together.
yes, I've
As far
got
as what has to be
there's
done. You'll have to have
certified payrolls, like I have notebooks to try to separate it all out, to keep track of the money and everything else.
Yeah.
What was the name of that trust, Mike?
The Massachusetts Clean Water Trust.
That's great.
Do we, any other things you applied to that we're waiting to hear from?
No,
So
that's
that's
it.
basically the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
They try to look at, that's why we had a lot of paperwork issues with them, because they want to make sure that they see where you're getting money from, so.
Yeah. No, that's fine, that's,
I mean, we have the ARPA money too, so in essence, it won't be 3.9, but.
all right,
hey, whatever we can come up with, we gotta spend the ARPA money before we
Yes.
decide to,
Take
use
it
it to
back.
pay for some of that $2.5 billion of the unemployment fund that they gotta
Yep.
pay back now.
Yep.
Anything else on Manly?
No, that's it.
But they should be moving a little faster now once,
Yeah,
trying to get caught back up. And everything else, they were on time before this
right.
little cold snap,
Yep.
okay? Communications Committee, anything to report?
I talked to Jeff. I guess there was an issue with the drop-down menu, and that's why they didn't do the integration. So there was a drop-down menu that, when you dropped it down, it wouldn't go away. So they postpone that until they fix that.
So they're still working out the bugs.
Yes.
I think the last time we were talking about training on some of the stuff, did you find anything out about that?
I haven't. I'm gonna reach out to the chief, because everything was set
It's from
up.
Revise.
Rave.
Oh,
Right.
Revise is the people that are working on the website.
Okay, because I got an email today on a training in February.
Oh, okay,
There were
right,
like
that's
8
great.
or 9 people. It wasn't Rave, it was Revise, so maybe it's,
For the new website.
yeah. Yeah.
But I'll talk to the chief about
Yeah,
Rave.
but just in case they do set something up, I don't want us to miss out,
Right.
so. Okay. South Elm Street Service League.
So he reached out and Randy went out and met with him again on Friday.
So he's back from vacation. That's
Yeah.
the guy we're talking about.
Yeah. So he was gonna do it with a buddy on a Saturday, so we told him we don't work on Saturdays. We informed him how you have to do it, that it's gotta be at least 4.5 feet deep, that there has to be a foot of sand on top of it, that he has to dig around towards our connect. He thought that he'd just leave the copper sticking up, but no, we're not any part of this. You have to dig beyond the service thing so we can jump it back into the existing service. So I was by the house today, nothing has occurred there. He has been sent the bill. Do we
Okay.
want to, so we're gonna add that to his bill. After that, it will be up to him to come before you to see.
Yep.
Did we flag out the line, or was that dig safe, or? I saw that there was flags on
Water's
the
always
property.
separate from Dig Safe. They always have to call water separately.
Yeah, if somebody put markings there, I didn't look for markings as I went by. The yellow flags are the gas
Yeah.
company.
I think they were orange or red.
Red is usually Verizon.
Oh, okay.
Verizon Underground with South Elm.
They could be, they they are running, I believe, fiber around town.
Well, they ran, I had fiber run to the house a couple months ago, but it still was off the poles. They didn't run them.
Yeah, and they have various things underground. We were working in the development across from you, John. And we were digging away when Verizon came to do their markup and they go, oh good, you missed a fiber line in here.
Beautiful.
What fiber line?
The one that you
It's
missed.
a dead end place, nowhere. This was like 10 years ago.
Oh. Okay. So, but something might be happening.
Yeah, we're trying to prod him along.
Hopefully he figures a way to do it without it being him and his buddy.
Right. I don't have any issues, just ask us what you gotta do it correctly, and it's not a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it on a Saturday, but you've gotta pay us to come in and jump the service, so you're gonna pay $400 and something
As
dollars.
long as he realizes he can't jump the service himself.
Right, well, you can have at it, it's pretty cold out there.
Then you'd have to go up, because we'd have a great big leak at that point.
With a nice ice statue.
Don't need that.
No.
All right, in the agenda, we call for budget being an executive session. We need to do that in open session today, so we're gonna go, unless you have something else on South Elm.
No,
We're going
that's
to the
it.
budget
Yeah.
discussion.
So we can discuss the budget without, because you said that has to be open.
But budget, do we need to do the salary before the budget on this
No.
one? I didn't think so, so we'll just do the budget
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
And then we'll go into executive session and do the salary stuff
Yep.
afterwards. All right, so we have the budget.
Yes, you do. It's almost $200,000 less than the previous year because we've paid off some of our debt.
So we've actually gone down,
Yes.
yeah, 180,000. 7.5%, that's not too bad. We have what, principal interest,
Hey, Dave.
interest,
Howdy.
And you're comfortable with the chemical, you know, I know you went up on the chemicals, but you think you're comfortable with the numbers
Yeah,
projecting out after we keep getting the, well, I know you can't really predict it anyway.
no, that's,
Okay, are we waiting on any things left from the town?
no, that's all, I mean,
From,
the town doesn't get their insurance or any of their other
Yeah.
monies until late in the thing.
wasn't there something else from Scott we were waiting for the last time, I thought?
No, everything's in.
I must have been thinking of something else then. On that. So this covers our labor, that includes the full amount of fully staffed people.
Yes,
So
yep.
we're covered for all of our salaries. Let's see, the Easton, the Turnpike Street resident stuff that we pay for, has that billing been working out better?
So I have them coming to, it did last quarter.
Okay.
I have someone coming to pick up the bills on Monday, and I looked today and they're still not up, so I don't know yet. Hopefully I'll have it
But it did
before
work
Friday.
fine, good the last quarter,
Just the last quarter, yeah.
which was the first one we actually did it.
Mhm.
So we're looking for a lot of increase, zero increases between one fiscal year and the next. Things are being managed with the money that's been requested previously.
Okay, we're not requesting anything there. Okay, so basically, after this year, we're done paying for the Spring Street, the tank painting?
Yep, that'll be paid
That'll be
off.
completely off?
Yep,
Art, didn't you say there was no interest on the truck the first year? Or was there?
On that,
On this truck?
on that agreement, they were not showing interest on the first year. They were just showing principal on the first year, the way he's on that schedule. What are you looking at?
5921. Is that interest for another vehicle?
no, that might be due to that, because nothing's fixed yet, so I just carrying a number. It's better to have a number.
Okay, yeah, because those numbers, double check the schedule, but maybe with Scott, and make sure.
Yes, we got it.
Put it all in the phone book. Yeah, according to his schedule of payments, the first payment's 46 and it's all principal. That would have been due
All right,
already.
all right, I can quickly change that.
And then he has it going out the next 3 years for what we'll be asking for that.
All right, I'll change that.
But it was what, so it was 39.5 between principal and interest, and it's gonna be, what did I say, 46,000, so that's gonna go up. That'll put us up a little bit on that. Carrying that.
Wait, what's that state water tax?
So that's, the state taxes us on the amount of water that we produce
Really?
to pay subsidized DEP.
Uh-huh.
Kinda like, you pay personal property tax on stuff that you've, bought it and paid sales tax, and then just so you can use the stuff that you bought, you have to continue to pay tax. That's basically the state's making us do that for the water we pump out of the ground.
Rick did argue with DEP, I was actually sitting in the meeting. As they were, DEP was laying off people and Rick was complaining, we're paying you
Yeah.
and you're laying people off, so we're getting less representation for our dollar.
I thought you were gonna say he was arguing for them to get rid of it,
No,
because I think that probably wasn't gonna end well.
So can you call it an unfunded mandate, state water tax?
We're funding their mandate.
Yeah, how does that work? So the state's taxing us for water that we pump out of the ground, we pay to pump out of the ground, we pay to treat, and we have to pay for the
John.
privilege of...
Don't try to understand it,
I know.
it'll just make your head explode.
I know.
Let's see. Okay, and we went up on the education and training stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna have more
Right.
license, okay, good, that's covered. All right, anything you wanna talk about specifically on it?
No,
I think it's a good-looking budget for this year.
I mean, it's nice,
it'll be the first time in 9 years that it actually went down instead of up.
7% down.
well, that's a
It'll last.
horrible thing, it's, I mean, it's
It'll
gonna
last.
go back up, because
Yeah, oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna be picking up more debt now coming up, but I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. So we have- Other than the fact, again, all the grants and stuff that you applied for and that you found, and everything that's there that, we get somebody else to pay for, will help keep down what we have to borrow, so. It's fairly good. Any questions for them? I'll borrow my glasses.
Not yet. Is clerical salaries just because we brought in another employee, like 20%?
No, that's a step raise.
Oh, okay.
Did I not say that?
That's a step raise plus the
Raise plus
COLA.
COLA.
Okay.
So it always looks like it's a giant sum of money.
Well, it's like the biggest percentage on the thing, I think,
Is the step rate.
is
Yeah.
Step
the
rate.
clerical and then the longevity are the two things that really kind of jump out.
And laboratory services.
Yeah, well, that I can't tell, because if we have to continue, if we have to do a lot of sampling when the new plant, PFAS building comes online, I need to be able to,
Well, we're gonna have a
right,
bunch of sampling that's we're gonna have, lab services, gonna have to pay on for that one, because the piloting will be going on.
yeah,
As they're bringing that project online, there's gonna be extra testing,
right.
and they're not gonna get cheaper. So,
Looks good.
all right. If there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
And I will make that motion.
For what?
To accept the budget for fiscal '26.
With the change.
With the change of the.
With the change for the truck payment.
With it, yeah. With the change for the truck payment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. So yeah, if you just make that change in
Yeah.
the meantime. Anything else we want to talk about before we go into the salary and into executive session?
I just want to bring up about the leak that we had last Monday night on Crescent Street. Again, how the guys above and beyond the Call of Duty went out, dug it up, fixed it. There was some sort of inconvenience for some of the water payers on Crescent Street and West Street, I think. But everything, all the valves isolated, everything nicely on that island on Western Crescent. Worked out well. So there's a 4-inch next to a 16-inch. What was the actual cause of that? Was it a rock under the...
There was a big rock right
Yeah.
where that, it sheared, like, we couldn't cut that pipe
No.
as
No, it's
straight as
perfect.
it sheared.
That was the old 4-inch,
Yeah,
just split.
Installed in 1910. Well, no, 1914.
yeah, but there are a lot of 1910s in town
Yeah.
too.
Oh, another great job.
So is that just left in when the other main went in to run services off of, to keep the,
Well, all those services are off of that. It's 6 and it goes down to 4 where
Yeah.
it ducks in and around the old crescent. But it's pretty much 6 on either side of it. They never abandoned it. They were supposed to jump all of the people off to the 16 and they didn't. And there are 8 cases at least in town where that occurs. So the 16, we always figured that's the newest one in there, is in good shape, but when they dug it up to tap it, it shows signs of pitting, which is unusual for a ductile pipe, so I asked them for the coupon, they didn't collect the coupon, so I can't show it to you. So when he digs it up to do his next tap, I'll make sure that I'm there with pictures.
If it's a 16-inch ductile, that should be cement line though.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's pitting on its exterior, and it shouldn't be, then that doesn't bode well.
No, it depends on how, I mean, electricity can give you a little bit,
Yeah,
but there shouldn't be anything.
there's nothing, there shouldn't be
Around
stray
there, they
electricity
should- no.
there. The only place we ever had that was up by the old Lucini's dealership, and they removed all of their outside lights, and that took care of that problem.
They get plans to go in and do another tap?
Yeah,
soon?
for the big part of the subdivision.
Right. We doing that, or, yeah?
No,
Ask them to, please give us the,
yeah,
if they can save the coupon.
I told Randy to see if he still has it. Usually we collect it, they used to sit up here, but there were ones up there that shouldn't have been there.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
All right, next,
I wanted to say, I was brave enough to go public and say that I'm not running for office on the hub. But while we're recording, I wanted to say that I'm not running for this seat again next election, so if anyone out there wants to run, there's an opportunity.
well, it's sad to see you go.
Yeah, I bring in a budget that's under, it's the first time, there's
Yep.
praise going.
This is not the time that you, after the next one comes out with all the new
Yeah.
work on it, that's the time to run.
I wanted to capture all 12 viewers that watch our meetings.
You'd be surprised. The last thing, unless somebody else has something else,
Next meeting.
next meeting.
February 3rd, Monday.
At 5 PM. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the regular meeting and go into executive session, not to come back out into,
I'll make a motion to enter an executive session, not to return to open session for the purposes of discussing salaries.
did you second?
I did.
All in favor?
You gotta do roll call.
Oh, that's right.
Craig and I.
Cruz, yes. Cabral, yes. So, we are out.